Hello everybody and welcome back to 3-2 Brew. Today we're going to be taking on the last two matches of our league with WUG Spechold. This deck is based around Threshold and Quiet Speculation. You've seen a little bit different of a list here than what's actually played. Sideboard I have a Ray of Revelation instead of a Moment's Piece because this is $5 online. So I did not feel like purchasing it. So I went and just stuck a second Ray in. But pretty much the exact same list. The other 74 are exactly the same. I'm going to be working on a different variation of this deck, which is what this actually is here. It's on my personal account where I stash all the decks that I own in person instead of just my brews for the channel. So I'm going to, start putting together what I think would be a really nice list to kind of try and take to the tournament or at least test for a little while, see how it feels. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with it. Let's see how it goes here. Honestly, I'm excited. Hasn't been great. We're 1-3 through the league, so not expecting the most, but I want to at least get a little bit more of a feel for the deck, see what feels good, see what feels bad by the end, and make some final decisions. So without further ado, let's hop on in. Match number 5, and we are going to be on the draw versus Mallory. Ooh. No blue in this hand. I think I got to ship hands like this. I have no green. But I have a lot more blue. I can bottom that Nimble Mongoose and still get away with it, I think. Alright. Let's see what they're on, see if we can get an early meddling mage or not. Well, they're going to duress me. Doesn't matter. They can take Leak or Spec. Either one works. So I'm interested to see what flavor of this they are. They go down to 6. Okay, planes. Pass it on through. Let's see. Cabal Therapy. Hit Mage. That's actually such a beating. Good lord. Alright, well, that's a tough one. Black is sweet. I love opening hands like this against black. Or when I'm black, playing against a deck like this with that type of opening hand is just a house. Are we going to flash back for Mana Leak? Or Werebear? They're afraid of that. Okay. I'm not too worried about that. That's a problem. Again, the mana base can be tough with this. That's why I think draw's so important. Like, if we would have been able to open up with a draw, get through some of the deck, find some more lands, life would have been a lot better. Okay. Yeah, I don't really care here. They can take my Mana Leak. It's not negligible to me. Okay, show me a green source, please. That's not a green source. Man, oh man. Gonna get housed by this 3-mana, 3-color deck. Unfortunately. I'm gonna just fetch and shuffle. Island. Okay. Always had it. I'm gonna leave white up here just to bluff. I think it'll be good for us to do. Could easily have a smother. It's like I'm psychic. Fetch land here would be huge. No. Okay. We can get one more land, though. I will blow this Armageddon wide open. Surprised they didn't. I guess smothering it's not a bad idea, but I probably would have wasteland. Personally. Just to take them off of green, especially after you just, you know. God. Oh, I know what deck this is now. Okay. Alright. I understand the objective. We are playing against Contamination. The black decks are a bit fuzzy for a while. Okay, why didn't they Wasteland there? Yeah, the black decks are just a smidge fuzzy until you actually get going. And that factory can block and sack. But I'm not too buggered about it. Yeah, there's another spirit. Man. Green mana just eluding me. I'm going to continue to beat into this nether spirit. They find a contamination, it's going to be real ugly for us. Green into Warbear is one of our best draws. It's going to F6 through this. I don't have anything to play. I'm not going to burn too much time on it. There's the contamination. Oh, that's such a pain. Okay. I don't even know if we have a way to properly deal with all this. We have no manlands. Everything taps for black. They have their combo set up. I think that might just be grass, honestly. Yeah, that's going to be it. I'm just going to concede, say GG. There's nothing we can do here. We're kind of stuck, so... Aura of Silence is very nice, as is Ray of Revelation. The Furnace can be a nice pickup as well. They don't have that many instants or sorceries, so I'm less high on it. I guess they don't play that many for this. Maybe what I'd prefer to see in here is a Null. Mana Leak's good, but not great. They are a heavy discard deck, so I'm fine with that. I'm way less high on Armageddon against this deck. Do I want the Aura of Silence? That's the real question here. When that happens. Mystic Enforcer is like unbeatable by them almost. Disenchant. No, I think this is fine. I think we'll be able to get through here. Definitely taking the play. This is a type of smattering I like to see. We'll play out a forest. Doesn't mess up much. I guess it could mess up a bit of a game plan. If I draw like a meddling mage or whatever. But yeah, they're gonna duress. Oh, Furnace. Yeah, that wasn't my fight anyway. You know what? I'm actually gonna play this a little smart. Look at Snap. I'm gonna leave this open. I want to see if they slam a turn 2 zombie infestation. Because if they go ZI, then we're gonna be looking a little bit better for sure. Hitting that port would be... Hitting that forest would just be a darn shame. Got him. That didn't matter anyway. They could slam Contamination here, but they wouldn't be able to do anything with it. So I'm just gonna Warbear. Probably got some kind of removal for it, but I want to get it out there. Swords I left in this deck as well, post-sideboard, because we have a very difficult time sometimes dealing with nether spirits. Like if we didn't find the Furnace. Yeah, Smother. Here it is. Okay. And they also have factories. Like, they have ways to win, especially if they bring zombies out. Don't worry, I'm gonna hit their graveyard. Very nice. The goose is loose. Okay, keep it pushing. Can't really port me off a color at this point. They got tons of options if they hit me with a duress. But we'll see how this goes. ZI? Cool. I don't want to deal with that at this moment. That's going to be a null for me, buddy. I'm not your buddy, guy. Exile the bottom card. I don't want to have to see that miraculously come back. I'm going to fetch here. I want to thin the deck just a smidge. We can get a second blue. Snatch up a forest here. Man. All right, well, now we're flooding. It's a little bit of a bummer. Okay. That was just I'm just trying to test and see if they want to deal with this or not. All right. Yeah, hit the island. That's fine with me. Bummer, but it is what it is. Unwastable. There's a legitimate question mark around whether we should be playing back to basics in this deck or not. I mean, it's packed full of basics. It's not unfathomable to me, to be fair. So I personally think that we could give it some run and it could be pretty successful, but I haven't done a whole lot of testing with that yet. Skeletal scrying for one. It's totally fine with me. Still gotta exile it. Doesn't change anything. No beats in from them, which I find interesting. We're gonna fetch another plains here. Anything but a land, please. Sylvan Library actually would be exactly what I want. And it's a land. Oh, man, yo. That is painful. A whole lot I can do about that. Yeah, go ahead, have it. Again, this version of the deck, I've already begun mocking up the other version that I want to try and run out. There's just certain things this one does I'm not a huge fan of. Double Factory. I don't know if this is a bait, but I really don't care. Hit the Mishras. We tried the pump, didn't work. Never mad about it. Okay. Give me some spells, please. Alright, there's a plains for you. That is very nice. Sylvan Library making an appearance at last. Yep, this deck doesn't really have a way to deal with it that we're playing against, which is nice. I like this Contamination Control deck, by the way. This is a deck that I enjoy playing against. I think it's good. I think it does a lot of good work. They have a Wasteland target. I'm just going to eat it with Furnace. Another Spirit's a bit tricky. Cool thing is if they assemble the combo here, I can just eat it. That's what I always like about this. That's why I like Furnace. I used to be bigger on Tormod's Crypt. Only deck I'd say Crypt is just better against is Blue-White Replenish. No response. Yes. Wow. Top. Keep. This is going to be Contamination. And this is going to be... I had a window here to, I think, play this and flash it back. But I'm not sweating it too hard. If they want to try and snipe it with a Furnace, they can. They kind of have to. They can untap the Furnace next turn, tap it down, hit the swords, and they got to spend the mana to cycle through and eat the call. But that gets my Threshold game plan back on. Yeah, that's totally fine. I can exile here. Beautiful. Contamination's locked out. Sylvan Library's running, so I have options. I have ways to deal with this. Maybe the mage wasn't the best call, but I kind of like it from this position, honestly. So we'll see how this goes. I have high hopes. At this point, at least. But Smother does quite a bit of work here. Yeah, the issue with this, the deck we play against, is that there is no good way to, like, deal with what they have going on when they actually assemble the combo. If they can port that down, I'm going to have them eat the bottom of their graveyard. Upkeep is another mage. Knew about that. Put on top. Put on top. We're not quite there yet. Blue-white for Meddling Mage on Contamination again. Just getting that set up. Not going to attack into a Mishra's Factory. I don't see a point in it. Okay. Lining up another good set of blocks here. They have stuff they can hit, obviously, but... And this Phyrexian Furnace, yes, I could cycle it, but this gives me a ton of versatility doing it this way. Yep, you can have the port. I have no interest in it. Yes, top. I don't want to take too much damage. I will develop this Nimble Mongoose, though. And just chill on it. I still see no need to cycle this Furnace. We have a draw engine online. Their whole combo fights through the graveyard. So once they get a kill spell set up, it'll be a bit rough. I'd love to find me a Warbear. That would make life a lot simpler and a lot easier. Yes, I would like to use it. And there it is. Top. 1/1. This will allow us to chill out for a little bit. We haven't been growing our graveyard. I'm not blind to that. So I've just been kind of trying to get us some green mana online, and that can kind of let us do a bit more action. Love to find a quiet spec here. It's one of those positions that quiet spec would just be fantastic in. So I'm gonna try and get a fetch land set up here. Yeah, top, and I want more green than I do anything else. Just gonna pass on through here. They have a wasteland up, but a wasteland on one of my lands is kind of ugly for them. Okay, port down my blue. I don't really understand that. I don't. Because I have no cards in hand. It's confusing, but I'm going to grab another green. I know we have the Warbear, but I'm just trying to make sure we're good. Another Warbear is nice. Ray of Rev is exactly what I kind of want. I'm going to pay for it to keep that in hand. Put another Werebear in. This only hits enchantments, so I can't blow up the Mishra's Factory, sadly. But doing the best we can. It's a lot of draw go against this deck, which I don't have any complaints about. We have good clean blocks at the moment. Response, yes. That's a great pickup. Top. We can go 1, 2. You know what? Let's just get in the elephant token. Shouldn't have even tapped my mana there, but they're at a high life total, so they probably don't care that much. Call into call. We are holding up Ray of Rev as well. Powder keg here would be kind of nasty. Double port online. Okay. All right. Can't truly take me off a color. I can stall it a bit. But second Phyrexian furnace is really nice. Put that on top, put that on top. Just cycle that on through. I can hit two things now if they hit the bin. I can start just beating in with elephant tokens. Factory pumps up. Yep. We'll be able to eat this with the furnace. Okay. Fine with me. Get rid of that bottom card. Double furnace is looking kind of rough for him. Alrighty, GG's. There's nothing I don't think I really want to change out the sideboard, so we are going to be on the draw here. See, this is a type of opening hand that feels like such a trap. Oh. On the draw. I'm going to keep it. I don't know, though. We have an annul. If they have a duress, there's a ton of things for them to hit. Play out the Ardcar wastes. Represents swords and annul. They go turn 2 ZI. Life's a bit more ugly for us. Port here would be really devastating. Crypt, okay. Factory. That's actually so good. Never punished. Sit here, no response. Bounce that back to hand. Next turn, if they want to deal with it, they're going to have to spend a good chunk of their turn. So Warbear's coming out. If they want to deal with it, they're going to have to smother. They could Innocent Blood as well. But they're just booting up Factory? Okay. I have no qualms with that. Into a furnace. Okay, so they're fighting through the graveyard, which I'm personally A-okay with. I'm gonna develop library. I'm not gonna attack. I'm gonna just hang back here. Okay. I guess they could develop contamination right now. They have a factory for backup. Oh, that wasteland is gonna put us back to the Stone Age. Okay. Kill spell as well would do that. But we can fight out of it with Sylvan Library. Or at least attempt to. Okay, that's fine. Do what you gotta do. The null is not horrible. Put that on top. Pay 4 to keep that in hand. Yeah, I'm gonna go call here. I have double call. They got ways to deal with it, obviously. But I'd rather have them spend their resources. We are getting low versus this factory. If we can hang on to all of our mana sources, we'll be looking a lot better. Powder keg. You know what, actually? We're in a really good spot now that I think about it. Top and top. So here's what I can do. I can just go green, white, black, and 1. And slam down a Mystic Enforcer. And then I have a backup call to herd for next turn. So this makes them choose what you want to do. And then if they want to go into defense here, I'm not gonna knock that with a backup elephant token. Now Powder Keg has to make the choice of whether it wants to deal with this Elephant token or Mystic Enforcer. The Enforcer they can't spot remove, but they could always Diabolic Edict, stuff like that. And it becomes tough. Mystic Enforcer is only solid when it has Threshold. So it needs flying to get through this factory, which is why that Elephant token becomes a really risky trade. Innocent Blood, I will sack a Warbear, knowing that I have multiple lands on top. There's their ZI. Okay. No response. Use its ability. Wow, this becomes really good in a minute. I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to put that on top. Let's develop here. I think what I'm looking to do... I don't know how worried about this ZI I really am. Okay, that's an early pop. So what I'm going to do here is call the herd and just hold up a null for contamination. It's fine with me. And then we can deal with ZI next turn. Hit it with the ray. Skeletal Scrying? Yep. They get to recharge their hand for ZI. So before they even really get to do anything. Okay. What they could do here is pop Furnace. But I'm not too worried about that. Yes, I will use its ability. Top. What I'm going to do here is Ray of Rev the ZI. See if they want to deal with that or not. I'm just going to hold up a null. They would have held that swamp. They could have double pitched here to stop the assault coming in, but they did not. Okay, contamination. And Crypt hit the deck. We're representing Mana Leak, even though we don't have it in. Still an important note. They can clap back here for 4, which would be nasty. Contamination on this board is pretty good as well from their end. But again, we have that basis covered. They're lethal if they don't play a creature out and they attack with both, which is very relevant. Okay, they get in with the zombie token. Finding a swords here would be a godsend. Worship's pretty good as well. Top and top. I think we want to go like this. And I think the only thing we actually care about would be like Innocent Blood. Funny enough. I'm gonna hit him with the elephant. At some point they're gonna have to clear. Yeah, looks like it's now. So the Mystic Enforcer still has protection from black, even without Threshold. Okay. Hang out on this. We got worship on top of the deck. Islamic and Tam, I'm just going to null it. Innocent Blood's the worst type of removal for us because it would clear our Mystic Enforcer. That's what I'm trying to avoid. They have a guaranteed 2-turn clock. See what they name with this. What they name might be able to give away a bit of what they're doing too. Mana leak. Yep, no leak. Just a null and double library. Libraries are sort of rotten at this moment. Really, this has been some tight games here, honestly. It's been very, very interesting because of that. Okay, they hit my graveyard. Okay. No response. Yes. I am going to pay for life. Get in here. I'm just going to develop worship. As long as I control a creature, we're going to have a tough time getting around it. Not finding my creatures, in my defense. Okay, yep, cycling, respectable. They need to find, I mean, they easily could come up with 2 pieces of removal. But doing everything I can. They got their graveyard offline. Unless they, I mean, if they found a whatchamacallit, it'd be kind of rough for us. I'm blanking on the darn name. What's its name? Oh, can't remember. Brain's just not working. But we've been doing pretty good to pick it. That's what it was, a darn factory. Spoken into existence. That makes it a little more difficult for us, for sure. But we do have the opportunity to fill a yard here. They can get in with the token all they want. I'm A-okay with that. They got a smother. Okay. They got an innocent blood? Alright, let me find another creature here. Man, oh man. This is brutal. I've kind of gotten skunked. This thing's summoning sick? It is. Yep, boot it up. They're at 0 cards in hand, I just realized. Okay. Just gonna hang out here. Oh, GG's, very nice. Hopefully it's good for us. Awesome, took the match. Well, Mystic Enforcer doing its work against the mono black control deck, so we are now up to 2-3. Let's try and get a par record. Let's hop into the next one. Alrighty, we are on the play for our 6th and final match. We are going for the Mega Trifecta. I think this hand's a trap. Is it though? I don't think it is. Yeah, I think that this is not going to be a trap. I don't know. I'm going to give it a run here with the green and see if it works out for me or not. Slam down a Nimble Mongoose and say go ahead. All right, I am back, and look at this. We got a Goosen. I'm going to slam Goose into Goose. See what they want to do about it. All right, touching gooses. Very nice. All right, well, we have the Mana Leak up. We can call next turn. See what they want to do about this. The goose is loose. We should import. Okay. I need some time to draw some white mana anyway, honestly. Huh. Against a threshold deck? Ooh, undo. Yeah, I don't know what. I completely blanked there. My brain was trying to think about what we wanted to do versus a threshold deck. And it didn't come up with anything. We'll see what other colors they are. I'm assuming this is green-white Geddon threshold. That's what most thresholds are. Probably a Terravore. It's probably what I would name. Okay, library is very good. I think Terravore is the name here, though. Slam this down. If they want to swords this, I'm okay with that. Terravore? Look at that. Look at that. Learning how to spell. Alrighty. Pass this on through. That's the only card we don't have that could be a real threat to us is Terravore. At this moment. We have Call. I'd love one more land here to hold up Call Mana Leak. Unless they want to just continue to port me. Either way, I'm happy, honestly. But we'll see how this goes, I guess. Could have been Oath as well. But I sort of doubt it with a Nimble Mongoose. Other Wayfair. Okay. They're not going to get a whole lot of value out of Wayfarer versus me. Because, well, you can obviously like get your other utility lands, but I'm pretty much a full basic deck. I got some pain lands, but primarily just running a full suite of basics and fetches and calling it a day. Alright, they go call, no big deal to me. Alright, yeah, I mean, we're just gonna double call. We got call up. We got call on the flashback. We got call on the follow-up as well. Wayfair gets the card. Means they can't flashback Elephant token this turn. It's interesting. Another land here would just do us miles, honestly. Treetop. Okay. Again, we're just fighting on a different axis currently. The Weather Wayfarer reshuffle Sylvan Library Suite. I would 110% be playing Wayfair if I had Mox Diamonds, honest to God. But I don't. So I'm not playing a Wayfarer list. I like the versatility of it. I'm not very good normally at like those Silver Bullet pod type lists, but that one's a little bit more straightforward with it being lands. They didn't keep anything, which is interesting. This is pretty much straight green-white with a splash a little bit for red. I do like that concept a lot for this type of deck. I know Gemstone Mine's like not a bad multicolored land, especially in like a threshold concept, but I don't personally love it. Cataclysm could be pretty bad for us. Okay, they're going to port down my white. I actually don't mind this exchange right here. They can take elephant token into elephant token. Nimble mongoose here. And then I can call next turn. I'm still holding up mana leak as well, which is huge. Okay, swords, no big deal to me. I had no land drop. They can't be doing Wayfarer stuff until they get rid of their gemstone mine. I got a treetop that's supposed to deliver here as well. It's not like I won't play my cards when I get them. I like these threshold decks though. They're fun to play, and they're fun to play against, I've always thought. I actually enjoy playing against Terravor a lot. There's not many decks in this format anymore. I used to really dislike Stasis. As like a newer player to the format, I was like, Stasis this and yada yada. So I just kind of ended up being, a fan of it at the end of it, because I think Stasis is actually a great deck. Ton of fun. Second port. Okay. They want to rip off of War. I got a leak to answer that. Probably would have ported down my blue if I were them. Like main phase 1, pass through to 2, and then sneak a War in. What is it right now? 3/3? It's not huge, but it's big enough, in my opinion. You can port the blue here, though. Okay. Ooh, what a great pickup. Let's see if they want to accept a trade here or not. See if they think Weather Wayfarer is getting any more value. I don't know from playing their decks if like Weather Wayfarer is like worth the value attempt or not. Maybe we shouldn't have Armageddon in this deck too. Maybe it should be Cataclysm. Really not certain. We got the Nimble Mongoose set up here. We have one more mana leak in hand. If they drop land here, then the mana leak's negligible. It's the biggest pain in the butt with it. There we go. Where the Wayfarer does its thing. Wasteland. Power to him. That puts a land into my yard. Getting me closer to threshold. Love to find my own Sylvan or a Swords to Plowshares or something. Just to try and open the door a bit more. Flashback call. Power to him. Okay. Windswept Heath is a great pickup. Go get myself another Plains. I'm going to play Call from Hand. No attack because I'm holding Worship. I have Mana Leak up for more troubleshooting. Strong chance they have a lot of enchantment removal, but if things get risky, They got their Treetop Village, but that's coming in tapped. They could take the turn off and double port me. Take me off a color if they really wanted to. But if they double port and then I find another land, it's just a flashback elephant and then we're banging. So I'm happy with the Cataclysm as well. Like, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world to me, at least. We do have more lands, and they opted not to search Weather Wayfarer beforehand. Sylvan's put them to 10. Again, my own Sylvan would be, I think, a beauty. But I can start ramming elephant tokens in then. Just call it a day. Okay, interesting. Using Risk Grove over a forest? That is intriguing. Nantuko Monastery would be pretty good in this situation. Pretty good. But I don't know if they have that on the list. It's the thicket. Okay. I'm gonna grow there. Big boy Terravore probably. Get some redraws. Cycle through the library. They actually don't even need to. Because they get a reshuffle. Is this worth it? It actually is, funny enough. I think worth it on the front end here. Treetop comes in. I have a double flashback call up. Ooh. That's a beating for them. They don't even know it. Okay. I am just gonna flash this back here. And then if things go sideways, I just have call as a backup. Or sorry, worship as a backup. Try and stick that and get it to stick. No Mox is out of this deck yet, which I find intriguing. I didn't cycle the Tranquil Thicket yet either. I'm interested to see how this plays out for him. Disenchant on the library could be huge. If I could find one more land to flash back and disenchant, I'd be a happy dude. Okay, 4 for the flashback. Okay, upkeep. Let's see what they want to do here. They're looking to tangle. I tap down the blue source. Yep, I'm gonna just swiftly disenchant Sylvan. Got the land. Always had it. Elephant token banging. Okay, touching butts in a sense. Fetch this away. Go snatch another island to make their port a little more difficult. I do want to get this call to herd up and online. They're out of calls in their yard. They can double port us. Don't know what they really... Probably double port off a green if I had to guess. Another Sylvan? Are they booting up? Yeah. Okay. They found their Sylvans. They have Treetop up, if that's the angle they want to fight an elephant token from. I'd love that. Trade token for Treetop, slam a worship. I'd also love to find me a... whatchamacallit. Ooh, great pickup. Yeah, this is going to be a Sylvan. So I'm going to pass through here. They didn't want to take out the Sylvan quite yet. See if they're willing to offer either one of these. Okay, swords on it. I'm just going to stick a worship, see if it sticks around or not. Then we'll begin to reload off the Sylvan. Feel like the worship they really got to deal with. I don't know how heavy their black splash is, but being at my current life total versus their deck. Naturalize the Sylvan. They gotta have another one then, right? And that would only make sense. Losing the Sylvan's tough, though. Not gonna sit here and pretend it's not. Love to find the big 6/6 flyer out my deck. That'd make life a lot better. Okay, they're passing through. Double port. Yep, go ahead. Take my green. Meddling Mage on Naturalize would be really dope as well. Just try and take them off, like getting rid of the worship, which essentially stalls the game. They got rid of that Tranquil Thicket finally. Took them a clip to do it, but they did it. If I get that 6/6 flyer whose name I can't remember right now, that would be enormous. I gotta have another Vor hanging out in here somewhere. Okay. Yep, boot the 3/3 up. Go ahead. Get in. Okay. Their own goose is now loose. City of Traders. Interesting. I haven't seen that out of these type of decks yet. Another force. They can't port me off a green. City for the double port. That's a beautiful thing to see. Take me off of green all they want. That's a really nice pickup. I'm just going to carry ahead though. Looking for a quiet spec. I'd love a quiet spec. You know, this is where like another version's deck with like Factor Fiction or the draw 2, discard 2 becomes like card advantage in a sense. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. I am going to hit the village here though. Or if they play a Vor, I'm going to hit the Vor. Okay. They're squaring me up here. They don't want to sacrifice their goose that is loose. Hit the village. Snipe that down a bit. Keep pushing. Yep, they get their double port. Really confused why they keep hitting green here. They could take me off an entirely different color. But wow. Okay. Don't think I'm looking to deploy this. At least not at this moment. It would put us at a disadvantage with the Sylvan Library they have going. Really need a Meddling Mage on Naturalize. How many plows have they used so far? Only 2. I might have to name Plow first and then Naturalize. Play to fetch land. Okay. They don't want to let their goose get loose. Okay. Okay. Now my goose can get loose because I have double goose. The more goose you get, the more powerful they are. Part of me here now wants to just stick them with a Geddon. And this is maybe a stupid idea, but sticking a Geddon here would really open the door for a lot of activities. And they're not on that quick of a clock. I don't quite think I'm there yet. They could Thawing Glacier, I guess? They have that? No, it's not Thawing Glacier. Another treetop. Alright, honestly, maybe Armageddon's a move. Maybe we do just get in. I'd like to develop one more thing, at least. If I could quiet spec, go snag my 6/6 Worm and flash that back, life would be looking a lot better. Treetop Village. Another Sylvan. Okay. So the goose gets to get loose again, which is awesome. They've invested a lot of time, energy, and resources into this. I'm not winning the card advantage duel, but they haven't developed the board in a little while. Yeah, I'm actually just going to send it. Because that locks up their treetop village for a while. And then I can just flooded strain. Push on through. See if we can get through the double library or not. I only get to use one this turn, but with the Weather Wayfarer activation, if we keep hitting land drops, it becomes more difficult. I don't even know if we got lands left in the deck, honestly. Okay. Nimble Mongoose is going to get in there again. It's actually a really good pickup for us. Let's just knock down a treetop village. So I don't know if we have any fetchable planes left in the deck. Wild as that sounds. I actually don't think we do. One more hit takes them off of being able to library. I think we're dead out of planes. GG's. Okay. We took that one. All right, very nice. This is a fellow graveyard deck. I think annulls are nice here. Rays are nice. These are nice. Ors are a potential. I'm not going to say like they're a guarantee, but they are a potential. Second Ray is solid. They might have Graveyard Hater themselves. Probably will, actually. Trying to think what I would want to cut here. Mystic Enforcer, if they have the Graveyard Hate, isn't as good. And honestly, we're back at it again, everyone. Don't love that. So let's run this, see how it goes. On the draw here, like chatting with my opponent, it's a good time. This is a really, really Sylvan Library dependent hand. I don't know if I like that. I mean, I have my colors, which is great, but 5 lands, 1 goose, 1 library against the deck I know it's going to have answers. Not my favorite. This is really nice, actually, being on the draw. I'm going to put, I think, the Nimble Mongoose to the bottom. Flooded Strand. Pass on through. This way we leave up a null for a turn 2. Sylvan. Money. Okay. Here we're going to go ahead and grab planes. And we're just going to chooch out a quiet spec. I'm going to drop in a Deep Analysis, a Ray of Rev, and a Roar of the Worm. Any order. We need a green source desperately now. But it isn't like that bad, I guess. But having that quiet spec there, I think this deck needs more quiet specs. I think running it with 3 is going to be ideal. They got their own Warbear. I'd like to find a green source. That is not a green source. I'm going to have to flash back. Deep Analysis. Fortunately, not finding what I need. That's going to become a Furnace, though. Which will be some future draw states. Which is going to allow me to slowly whittle away. I can stick a Swords on whatever I need to stick a Swords on. Love to see myself a nice little green bean here. Warbear is not really my top priority to deal with from them. Wasteland hurts, but it's not brutal. If this Warbear gets live, it's going to be looking a lot nicer. Okay. So that Vor is out there, but I have a way to clean it up here at least. And I can just slowly whittle them away from the yard. Keeps my threshold up for when I need it. They have another enchantment to follow up here. I can pop it a null again. Man, this is just working out decent. Come on, give me some green sources deck, please. Thank you, Lord. I think I want to develop my own Sylvan here. I recognize how good the Warbear could be, and I'm gambling that they don't have a wasteland. I don't have a way to deal with this off the top currently, but we have ways to deal with it. Once we get a chance, I'm just going to exile this now so I don't got to think about it. Please give me a green source. I got it. Top, hold, here, fetch, forest, flashback ray of rev, warbear, holding up swords. I'm at a 4/4. They're getting the graveyard slowly whittled away. We can begin being the beats. We have a backup warbear as well. We can still hold up the swords. Quiet Spec just completely ignited us right there. Gave us a reshuffle. Then the deck out of stuff that wasn't lands when you really needed lands. That card is just an all-star, I think. We can start hitting our own yard if we wanted to. I'm not saying we have to, but if we wanted to. Just like get rid of a flooded strand, you know. Especially if I'm going to be casting like a call. If I blast a call out here, which I'm not going to because I'm going to have Warbear up. But I can eat a flooded strand just to keep our graveyard down. But I'm probably going to continue on with the Sylvan Libraries here, just to make sure we keep them off of threshold, so we can keep our threshold live. Naturalize. Yeah, we're definitely going to cycle this. I'm actually going to eat a flooded strand here. That's huge. Not huge enough, though, because they would get threshold, and I couldn't go coast to coast with that then. But that's okay. Okay. It's actually nice. Yes, I will. I'm going to put this on top, this on top. I'm going to develop a second Warbear. I could have had a flashback set up there, but that's okay for now. If this Warbear begins to get out of, or seems to become a problem, I will just deal with it with the swords. Being able to beat heavy is nice. But I'm trying to hold this swords for a later occasion. Risk Grove, gonna bounce the gemstone mine. I probably wouldn't if I were them, because I'm just trying to feed the graveyard to keep up with the Warbear, but I also don't know their hand. Okay. Alright, I like double swords here a lot. Yeah, let's put this on top. Put this on top. I'm gonna get in. And then we're gonna flash back the Roar the Worm. Get a 6/6 on the field, see how they want to start dealing with these. Swords here would be nice, gives us more Sylvan Library power. There's a Mox Diamond from them. Okay. Got rid of the old gemstone mine. No response. Yes, please. Ooh, the goose. So, top. We attack here with both. Let the beats happen. And we go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can't count today or figure out what my mana's correct with a follow-up for a Nimble Mongoose. We could be overextending. Ooh, into an Armageddon, but apparently, or sorry, Cataclysm. GG's. All right, well, we beat the threshold deck of our opponent, which puts us to 3-3 on the league. So, hey, we ended up at par. But hey, let's talk about it a bit here. I got some thoughts and ideas I want to share with you all. Well, everyone, we did not end up doing the best, but we did go a cool 3-3 par through the league. Let's talk about the deck on the macro. Do I think I have a deck here that's going to be top tier meta? No. I don't think this build would really be it. I truly believe if you have diamonds, you have a good chance. You'd probably play Meddling Mage in the board and you'd have Terravores in the main board. But is this going to be potentially a good way to hit a meta if you know the deck exceedingly well? Yeah, I could see that working out. We do have a ton of answers. There's a lot wrong with this deck, though. And this current version you're seeing on the screen is what I played through with. It's not bad. The mana leaks were incredibly whelming. I think one more quiet spec will do the job a lot better. Even with the same number, just having the quiet spec is nice. It's also a 2-mana reshuffle for a library. But there's a couple other pieces I think just need some changing. The other version of this, I'm going to talk about more here in a second because I think it's just more pertinent to how I'd like to move forward with this deck and how I'm going to be testing it and seeing what works and what doesn't work for my upcoming tournament on the 29th, which is about 10 days away now. So this is a cool build. One thing I will say, I enjoyed the sideboard a lot. The second Ray was nice, but I do think a Moment's Peace, because there's a decent amount of aggro floating around in my local meta right now, would be a lot better. But I do like the versatility that this sideboard offers. It's quite tasty. But let's talk about where I'd like to move forward with this deck too. This is an updated list I threw together last night after doing a bunch of consideration and thinking. So what I ended up doing was I cut one Mystic Enforcer. It's a great card. It's a very good top end, but I'm not really dying for it personally. It's great against black, and black is definitely on the rise, but at the same time, it can be dead. If it had flying straight up, I'd be all day with this card, I think. But the fact that it doesn't, and it's just a vanilla 3-3 with pro black, doesn't do enough for me personally. Because there is a good amount of graveyard hate running around because the graveyard decks have been so darn powerful. You will notice I have 61 card main deck. I might run it with a 61 card special. I don't know what to cut here. So the creatures got rearranged. We dropped the Mystic Enforcer, added a Whirlbear. We dropped all of our mana leaks, and I added 4 Careful Study to this list. I also dropped an additional, I dropped the Disenchant, which is a very bold idea. Do not get me wrong. I know it's kind of stupid, but I dropped it because I have a Ray in the main board, and if we're playing against Shrimp, I have 4 Plow. And then post sideboard, I do have 2 Aura of Silence. This deck, strong chance, is going to be soft to our lovely Enchantress deck. At least somewhat soft. But what I did add instead was, I had that third Quiet Speculation, but I also added a Factor Fiction, which I think is a fantastic pickup. Going to be really nice. This gives you a minimum of 3 cards in the yard, which Quiet Speculation does give you 4 cards maximum. But Thoth is also great card selection. It can clear a Sylvan, etc., etc. I left the 23 lands. I am debating cutting it down to 60 and going to 22 lands with the Careful Studies added. Careful Studies are huge because, A, it's early game fixing to try and get the mana out correct. And I don't know what the correct setup for lands are here. I don't know if this should be 3 now and this should be 3 because I need an early blue source or exactly what to do with it. But regardless, the Careful Study is a huge addition to the deck. I also always want to play these because I have a signed playset of them from an IX Fest a couple years ago. I also have a signed Zug Worship that's also gold border. I love getting my gold border cards signed because I'm dumb like that. But I really, really think that this deck will have a lot better chance once I get some reps with it and try and feel it out. The Careful Study to smooth the hand. Every time you draw and discard a flashback card with careful study, that is card advantage if you're still taking the 2 cards into your hand. So I'm a huge fan of that as a side of it. Probably going to figure out the mana a bit more. Getting Worm out of the hand more easily is great. I want to play my Friday Night Magic version of it, so I'm glad to be able to run it. But yeah, I think, and also the Moments piece is back in here because this is going to be my tournament deck, so I made it a match appropriate, list and printings and all that. So I'm thinking that this will be a good basis for it. The other thing I thought about while we were playing against that final match was Cataclysm. I think Cataclysm instead of Armageddon in this deck has a lot of merit. White is our least important color, I should say. So there's not a ton of white action going on. I lie. It's equal to the blue action, pretty much. If I scroll down here to the bottom of the page, you can see 34 to 32. Blue slightly loses out to it, but you got, a little bit more. Not quite all the symbols we want on lands, per se, but nonetheless, this is the best I can kind of put for it for now. Cataclysm's going to be on the brain. I'm going to see where I'm at with white mana consistently, etc., etc. So if I can swap out Armageddon for Cataclysm, especially to try and deal with some of the go wide decks and such, could be nice, especially because I want to have a Worship Nimble Mongoose hang around for a while. That's a great way to set that up. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. This sideboard felt great. Hidden Gibbons against any kind of Xerox deck is fantastic. Phyrexian Furnace being a 2-of, I was finding it very well against the graveyard decks, or at least mulliganing to it. Annul's fantastic to hit an opposing Sylvan Library, Shrimp, etc., etc. I think that's a great card. Crumble's very good against the Shrimp decks, but also you can take out a key piece of Devourer combo if you really want. Moments piece obviously didn't get to test with, but I have high hopes for this deck. Warmth, we didn't get to play any Warmth because we don't really play any red decks, but I really enjoy Warmth. And then Aura's Silence, I'm Schmedium on. The only reason is I don't know if we really want to go that angle with it. I'm interested in it, and I hope I can test against my friend who's coming up for the tournament, who's a huge Enchantress player. I want to see how Aura of Silence feels out the board, if that should just be a disenchant instead, or what exactly it should be. So I'm going to just keep that one in the brain and see where it goes, but I'm very excited to run this newer version of it through some testing, see how it plays, if it goes well, goes bad, and then hopefully I can give you a little tournament report at the end if, I have the ability to. So I appreciate you all for tuning in and listening to me ramble through this and watching this league. Started out a bit rough, but hey, we ended up on par, and I'm always happy about that. So until next time, this has been 3-2 Brew. Cheers!